All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We're very excited to host today's webinar, Adobe InDesign for Beginners. Presenting today's topic will be Dennis Hall. Dennis is a freelance animator with a master's from Pace University and undergraduate degree from City College, where he studied electronic design. He has over 10 years of skills and knowledge in graphic design and multimedia. He's currently teaching multimedia for Global Education, New York, and is a technology instructor at Brooklyn Public Library. Now, please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We do offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored towards your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you will get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we've been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. Today's presentation is in the design and multimedia practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio for design and multimedia courses. Up on your screen is a list of our upcoming classes and our public schedule. We have Adobe InDesign for Beginners, Adobe InDesign Fundamentals, an introduction to InDesign CC, as well as Adobe InDesign CC Advanced. We can also deliver private training to teams, of which the learning plan can be customized to the specific needs of that audience. These offerings can be found with a simple search of our website at netcomlearning.com. And now I'd like to give you an overview before we do get started. But first, we want to let you know that Netcom Learning is presenting this webinar, Adobe InDesign for Beginners and Why You Should Attend. In this webinar, we will review the whole portfolio of design and multimedia certifications, helping to understand which one might be right for you and tell you what you need to know in order to get started. The webinar not only reveals the secrets of creating, placing, and styling text, but also provides us the understanding of how to work with colors and swatches. And now I'm going to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to adjust the window size to your liking. Simply hit the Escape key and find the Zoom button on the top left corner of your GoToWebinar viewer. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Please feel free to submit any questions you do have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. A PDF copy of today's slides are also in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer. And now I'm going to pass this over to Dennis, who will be presenting today's topic. Okay, Dennis, go ahead. You've got the screen and you are live.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Before we begin, let me just say that I hope everybody can hear me okay. So if you can give me a thumbs up or a check to let me know that you can hear me okay.
Wonderful.
Okay, excellent. All right, so before I begin, I'd just like to go over the interface before we open up the program. At the top here, this is our menu bar. And at the top of the menu bar, we're going to go to File, and we're going to go to New and Document. We're going to go to Document and open that up. This dialog box is going to open up. Okay. In this dialog box, we have our specifications and how we'll be working. Right now, it's stating that we're working with picas. Our width is 51 picas. We can change these units from picas to inches. Okay, 8.511. This is standard for paper size, United States paper size. So let's work in inches for now, and then we can also switch over to picas. If there's any questions about units and you want to understand points and picas, just ask, just let me know in between, and we can switch back into picas. But for right now, let's work in inches because it's much more easier. It's an understandable standard of measurement. And as this point right here, we can click Create at the bottom. We can also preview it before we click Create. As you can see, once you click Preview, behind the dialog box shows you the standard. If you move it, shows you our standard, our document size. So if this is okay with everyone, we can just click Create and we can begin here. Everybody has their window open, their interface open with their document. Just give me a thumbs up if they do, or okay. I can't see that. Tracy, is everybody giving me an okay?
Yeah, everything's good. Don't worry about it unless we interrupt you. Then there's a problem.
Okay, excellent. No problem. Okay, so at this point, we have learned this is just a standard program that has a tutorial. We're going to close this out by clicking the X. And as we click that out, we have our basic interface. So as I said before, at the top of the bar, at the top of the window, this is our menu bar, and I'll be referring to this, so I don't want you to get lost. Menu bar is here. Underneath the menu bar with these icons on it, this is our options control panel. On the right side of our window interface, we have our tabs. And on the left side, we have our toolbar. So I'll go over that again. And of course, in the center, this is our document. So once again, at the top of the bar, this is our menu bar. And underneath the menu bar, this is our options control panel. On the right side, this is our tabs. And on the left side, this is our toolbar. And I'll be referring to them. So if at any point that you get lost, I'll just correct me. I'll correct you. I'll let you know where we are. And then we can begin, and then we can continue. So as you see here, our document here has a safe zone, our gutter here. So we're going to just open up our tabs here by clicking the double arrow. This opens up our tab so we can see it. It opens it up, and when you click it again, it collapses. So or expand. So we're going to expand with our double arrows. On the left side, we're going to be using our tools here today. The very first tool is our selection tool. The next one, that's our black triangle, or I call it the black arrow, makes it easier for people to understand, simplify things, our black arrow. The next one, the black triangle, is our direct select tool, which we're using today too. The T is our type tool, or text tool that we'll be using. Pen tool, this particular icon, the rectangle, this will be used for creating our, introducing pictures. This is our shape tool. And of course, the zoom tool. I'll be showing you how to zoom back and forth without clicking the zoom toolbar. Also, below the toolbar is our color panel. The one that has the slash in it, or the one that's a box, this is our fill. This will be filling filling the shape or letters or fonts with color. Underneath that, if we click that, this is our stroke. This is the line that creates the color or the font or our text. So this is our stroke, and before that will be our fill. So let's begin here. So the first thing we're going to begin here is creating a text box, so we can type in our document. So the first thing that we're going to need. Oh, before we start typing, I just wanted to say there are at least 3 different ways to do one single task. They're at least built into the program, at least 3 different ways. Over here we have color as well that is similar to this. And up here in our options tool, options control panel, these are our color tools, as well as on the toolbar and our color. So these work hand in hand. They are the same option. So if you feel comfortable using the options control panel or going to the tab or the toolbar, they work the same way. They control the same thing. Also in our swatches as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to create our text box. So the first thing we're going to do is click the T tool, our text tool, type tool, and this will change the options control panel as you saw before. Let me go back to the selection tool. When I click that, the options control panel differs or is in control for what I will do with the selection tool. When I click the T tool, we're going to now change into the text tool. Okay, we're going to be typing or type tool. Let me close this window here. Before we start typing, I forgot to get we're going to reconfigure our tabs over here. We're going to reconfigure the tabs to the right. Let me show you how to reconfigure this. It's very simple. So to reconfigure this, all you need to do is click, hold, and pull out your tab. As you can see there, click, hold, and pull. Once you want to redistribute or replace your tab in a certain area, a blue area will light up telling you exactly where you're placing it. See the blue box? It lets me know that I'm going to place it in the same place as pages. At the bottom here, it lets me know that I'm placing it between pages and stroke. If I want to place it in the same area as stroke and color, it creates that blue dialog, that blue area box. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to place this right into the swatches, into the area where color and stroke is, because they are the same thing. Swatches, color, stroke allows us to control the color or various colors of our shape or our text or font. So we want to place this in the same area. And to pull up on it in this little gutter here between pages and swatches, this little dark area, if you place your cursor in between it, this allows us to increase or decrease the size of the tab area. Okay, I hope everybody got that. I hope I didn't confuse anyone. In the tab area also, we have pages. We have the master page. We have our area that we're going to create layers, where we can build and layer upon elements within the document, and our links. This will allow us to bring in items that are going to be placed on our desktop or in folders in our documents that we will continuously use. Also, to minimize, or I should say shorten this particular window time with links, we'll be using our bridge, which is up in our menu bar area. This will shorten and make the availability of using images and certain documents available to us without having to minimize or hide the window, so we can use that. We're using this directly within the tab area in this interface, so that makes it easier. So let's begin now. Once again, I said that we're going to use the text tool. We're going to create a dialog box, not dialog box, a text box. So right into the corner of our safe zone, I'm just going to click, hold, and drag out a particular shape. This is going to be our column. Okay, we can split our document into columns, multiple columns. We can multiple columns and designs. So right now, as I created my text box, as you can see, the cursor is blinking, letting me know that I can type inside of it. Up here in the options control panel, it has now reconfigured, so we can now determine what type of font we want to use. In that, as our font selection, our font size, and our points. There's going to be some leading that we can create. Also, we can also do a drop cap over here. Size, color is here. This is our stroke. Okay. We can also reconfigure the paragraph dimensions from line left, or which in the communities was called a rag right, center, rag left, or line right, rag left, and of course justified. Also, here's our drop cap area as well. We got shading and borders that we can place around the particular text box area. And of course, in our tabs, it does the same thing. We have our swatches for color. Color is here as well. Also the stroke. And here in our toolbar, it has reconfigured C to T. T lets us know that we're working with type. So the first thing that we want to do is fill this with type. We want to fill the text box with type. Now we can easily type within it. As you can see, we can easily type. But if we want to fill it and see how our column is going to be set, we can go into the menu bar. In the menu bar, selecting type, we're going to go down to fill with placeholder text. Now this text that we're going to click to fill it with is basically just gobbledygook. It's non-understandable text, but it looks like writing, so we can just see what the information will look like within the text box. So let's click that, and now we have an understanding of how the text box is going to be looking without text in it. Excuse me, without text in it. So as you can see, we have paragraph dimensions here. To expand our column, our text box, we go back to the selection tool, which is V. Okay, we can go back to the selection tool, which is V. If we click V, is our short key command, our hotkey, to go back to that. And as you can see, we have a bounding box around it. This bounding box, as we can see, we can expand the text box to increase more text, to have more text inside of it. And let's do that. Let's increase more text. Let's put more text inside of this. So all we're going to do, as the cursor is blinking, we're done with double click, and we're going to go back to the top of the menu bar into type and fill it with placeholder text. And as you can see, we're filling the information that's already there. Now, let's say that we are typing and we forget that we're still typing within, as you see, I'm typing here, and we forget that we're typing within the text box. What happened is the text box now will show you that you have more text inside the text box that the text box can't show. You'll see that with the indicator here. Let me go back to my select tool and show you here. Clicking V. Right here, this area here at the bottom of our text box is the indication, this red plus sign, that there is more text within this text box that the text box will not show. We want to be able to link this or continue typing in another column, in this column next to it, so we don't have to worry about how much information we have to limit within this text box. To create a link into the next text box, so the information now is continuing within the next text box, all you have to do is click the red plus sign, click it. And once you click it, you'll see that your cursor now has the additional text attached to it. Okay? I'm going to do that again. I'm going to escape to get rid of the text. I'm escape. You click escape to get rid of it. And once again, you'll see that I have my select tool. I go back down again to click the red plus sign. Once I click the red plus sign, as you see, I have my text available. All I need now is to create the additional text box to fill it, to connect, to link. So I click, hold. As you see, I have my plus sign. I click, hold, and drag, and here I go to create my next text box. And there is my additional text that I was typing. Okay, I'll do that again just for one more time. I'm going to undo this. To undo is the same command in most all programs, which is Control Z. Control Z is undo. Okay, I'm going to press escape just to show you how it's done again. Once again, I'm going back down to the plus sign, click it one more time. My cursor is filled with the text, as you can see. I'm now going to create a new dialog, a new text box to continue the typing that I was doing into another column. So I click, hold, I have my plus sign, and I'm going to drag, click, hold, and drag out to where I want the new column to be set. Here's my new column. I have a double page, a double column within this page. And here, anywhere I click, anywhere I type within my first column, I'm going to start typing, you will see that the information now is linking within that other side. If I want to add more text, I'm going to go into the type tool to fill it with more placeholder text. And as you can see, now the information is filled on the other side. I hope that was a little easier. Okay. I want to show you, we're going to go back here. I'm going to go back to my select tool. I'm going to highlight both of these. To click, hold, and drag to highlight both columns. I can adjust the column, or I should say, let me adjust the column by clicking one column. In the center of the column, text box, I can adjust the size of the column. And as you can see, as each adjustment is made, the next column is adjusted to adjust for the amount of words that's being placed inside. Also, as I select this, if I go back to T, if I go back to the type tool, and I double click inside of it, I can adjust what type of paragraph I want in the options control panel. Right now it's align right, align left. I can click center. Okay, I can click align right, and the area that it's aligning is only where the paragraph that the cursor is on. To affect the entire, I'm going to Control Z to undo. To affect the entire text box or columns, you're going to highlight. You're going to click Control A. Control A is the Select All tool, which allows me to select all of the paragraphs. And now, if I want to affect all of the paragraphs, I can center here. I can now align right and center, I should say, and justify, and center. Sorry, align center. And this will allow us to affect the entire text box or columns that we have. Okay, to deselect. Oops, sorry. To deselect or come out of the highlighted text, we're going to go back into the selection tool, and this will deselect the areas that were selected before. Okay, that's all you have to do. Press V for deselect, for select tool, T for type. T is my type tool, V is my select tool. Okay. Excuse me, my mouth is a little dry. Excuse me if I sound a little slow in my speech. So here I go now to select both of these columns. Select both of the columns. We're going to highlight both columns. To highlight both columns, we're going to click, hold, and drag. You'll see this is a highlight area. Okay, we're going to use this to highlight selected areas that we want and not select areas that we don't want. So this is useful for highlighting areas, as I said, that we want and not selecting areas that we don't want. So this will allow us to select both the columns, and then we're going to press delete to get rid of them. Okay, Control Z to bring it back, just so I can do it again. If I want to get rid of one column, I can click it, or if it's multiples, as we're going to do later, I can highlight with the highlight area and press delete. One column is gone, the other one stays. Control Z to bring it back. Okay, so I'm going to highlight both of these columns once again and press delete. At this point, I want to be able to create a shape, and to create some shapes, and we're going to do this, we're going to be going to the shape tool here, the rectangle tool. Now, anytime you see any of these icons on the toolbar with this little triangle on the end of it, this means that there are more options to that tool. And you can see the more options once you click and hold. Once you click and hold, you'll see the other options that's available to that tool. I'll do another one. I'm going to go to the the rectangle tool, which is the shape tool. Click and hold. You see the little triangle at the bottom right corner. If I click and hold, you see the other shapes I can now select. Rectangle, ellipses for circles, polygon. Okay. Same thing for the type tool, pen tool. If I click and hold, I get additional types of pen tools to create. Okay, so we're going to go back to the select tool, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that one of the most important tools on the on InDesign is the select tool. Make sure that after we do something, after we do a task, we do an operation, we go back to the select tool. This will eliminate any mistakes or problems if you're working within a tool. And if you click again, if you do something, you won't have a problem of making mistakes. So we go back to the select tool to eliminate the mistakes. So if we need to move objects or to now go into another tool, we can do that without making mistakes by accidentally clicking or right-clicking or hitting enter. That will probably activate that particular tool. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to create a shape going into the rectangle tool. And as you can see, I'm going to click the rectangle, and we have our crosshairs, my plus sign, as you see. Now I'm going to create this shape. By creating a shape, to create a perfect square, you're going to hold down the button Shift. You're going to hold down Shift first, hold it down, and then we're going to click, hold, and drag. Once I do that, I'm creating my perfect shape, as you see. If I let go of Shift, I'm not letting go of the click side. I'm not letting go of the click button, the left click button. If I let go of Shift, as you can see, now I can manipulate the shape. Now I can make a triangle, or I should say a triangle, I'm sorry, a rectangle that is a wide or long, as you can see. I can design the type of shape I want, height, width, but if I hold down Shift, it allows me to only create a perfect square every time. Okay, all perfect shapes that we're going to create, you must hold down Shift and the left click button to do it at the same time. So hold down Shift first, and then click, hold, and drag, and we're going to create our shape. Now that we have our shape, everybody sees this, we're going to go into, once again, as I said, to go back to the select tool. If I do not, and I click the area, this is what happens. It automatically generates a dialog box as if I want to create another rectangle shape. We don't want to make this mistake, and it can happen frequently. So this is why it's important to go back to the select tool, the black arrow, and make sure that we have our shape. Now, if I make a mistake and click, as sometimes we do, nothing is happening. Okay, so I want to fill this shape with color. So the first thing that's happening when I select my tool, you'll notice that in the options control panel, the stroke is on. The stroke has a color, as the same thing in the toolbar, and with stroke here, color, you'll see it as well. With the tab area, the stroke is available. It has a color inside. That's telling you that the stroke is already visible. If I click outside of the shape, you'll see that the stroke is visible. This stroke is here. Okay. To increase the size of the stroke, you click this. Just click the outline. If you click inside of the shape, you'll see that nothing happens. That's because there is nothing filled. So it's only a line. It's only a stroke. To select it, if I want to, if you're having difficulty clicking the stroke, because if you put the select tool on the stroke, you'll see that dot. That lets you know that you're selecting the line. If you're having difficulty doing that, just click, hold, and drag, and create the highlight area, as I talked about before. Creating this highlight area allows us to select the object without having to directly go and select the line. Sometimes it gets a little difficult. I know sometimes I have difficulty selecting the line. So I click, hold, and drag the highlight area, and now I can move the object. Okay, I can move the object. Okay, now to increase the size of our stroke, we can do so in the options control panel, or we can do so in the options control panel or the tab area. The tab area allows us to increase the size of the stroke, as you can see here where it says weight. If I click up on weight, we have our increments that we can go to, or if you click the large a drop-down menu. On the side, we can jump into large increments from 10, 20, 60, and now we can control the size of our stroke by increments or large jumps. Okay. So I'm going to go back to 1, and if you notice, if I go to the to the drop-down menu, the large one on the right side of weight, we have smaller increments, 0.75, 0.5, 0.25, razor thin lines. Okay. The reason you won't be able to see it is because our guide is on, and I'll show you how we'll turn off and on our guide and our viewing option so we can see what our objects or our page looks like without the guide, so we can see what a printable area looks like. But for right now, all we're going to do is play with, we're going to increase this. We have our stroke. Okay, I've outfitted the stroke to 1 point, as you can see. I'm also now going to fill the option. So if I'm not fill the option, not yet. We're going to change the color of the stroke. To change the color of the stroke, we can double click the stroke here in the options control panel. This brings up our color picker in the options controls panel. This is directly part of the stroke. I'm going to cancel this because we can also do that in the toolbar. If you notice, prior to this, the fill portion was on top. To select the stroke, you must make sure that the stroke area is on top in the toolbar area to select the color for the toolbar. If I double click the stroke, once again, the color picker comes up. If you find this a little difficult, we can go over to the tab area and go directly into color. And here you'll see the same thing. If I click the fill that will be inside the stroke, inside our shape. If I want the stroke, here the stroke area is filled. If I double click this, once again the color picker comes up and we can pick our color. So if I double click my color picker, or we can also go to swatches, which is a direct, just going into the direct color of each one. If I double click, nothing happens in swatches because this is not our color picker. This allows us to select basic colors that we can implement or use. Let's go back into the options control panel in the stroke, double click, and this is our color picker. Now our color picker is divided into 3 basic areas. We have our color slide here, which will change once we move up and down in the slide area. Okay, it changes the color picker. As you can see, this is from light to dark. Light to dark. Light is on top, dark is at the bottom. If we move the color picker inside the area here, our crosshairs, you will see now that the color slide changes as well. This is because now it's giving us options within the area that we are wanting to select. So within this yellow area, we have this variation. And of course, if I come down into the dark area of this color, I can select dark areas of this. And as you can see, as I move, the color picker will move as well. This area over here shows us the color we have previous. What we're going to click, what we're going to select our new color, and below it is our previous color. This is the color that we had before. This is black that we had as our stroke. So this is our new color, and the old color is going to be on the bottom. So each time we select a new color, the old color that we selected, the previous color prior to the new one, will be at the bottom. So let's give this a try. So to select white, if we go all the way up on our color slider, white is in the very right hand corner of our color picker. This is absolute white here. Absolute white is here. And as you can see, this is our color. Over here, you'll see the variations for the variations of RGB, red, green, and blue. This is for video. Over here, CMYK for print. At the bottom here is our color code, FFFF. This is our color standard code for white. And as you can see here, this is pure white, all F. If we want pure black, we bring the color slider down all the way to the bottom, And pure black is going to be in the opposite direction, diagonal of white. So all we have to do is bring the slider or the color picker into the black area. This is pure black. And black is considered an absolute color of 0. This is its color code 0. Okay. Pure white is in the upper right hand corner. Pure black is in the lower left hand corner. Okay, diagonal from right. Our pure color, the color that we want to choose, if I want to choose red, let's say I want to choose red. Red is going to be in this pure area, as you can see here. This is pure red. Okay, the pure color is here. If I'm going to now switch to another color, pure yellow is in the corner here. Okay, purple or any other color that is a variation of that will be in the lower right hand corner. So pure colors are going to be in the corner of our color picker. Any color that's a variation of this will be going into the center. So purple and red, if I'm going to slide over into this color, as you can see, variations of orange because these colors are mixing, because I'm going into yellow in the area of red, purple, okay, fuchsia. I don't know all my colors by heart. Orange, we're going to go into a gold area. Bright yellow, okay. Pink is over here. If I want darker colors, as I said, bring the color slider down, and now we're going to get into the dark colors. Like I said before, this is pure black. We have green over here, okay. We have light blue or aqua over here, and of course our regular blue or navy blue, pure blue, is over here. And of course, any color that's mixing in between this is going to be in the various areas of this. So we have like a moss green, a sky blue is up here, sky blue, variations of green, any variations of colors in between that, lighter colors, we can place the color slider in between. So now we have lighter colors that are in between that. So we got brown, which is an area of red and black. So black was here, and of course red is coming into the same area. That's where red is, so we have brown. Yellow and green is over here, okay? And of course, yellow is over here as well, and that's how we make blue. So if we call all the way up, as you can see, oh, that's white, I'm sorry. White is over here, yellow is over here, and of course, this creates in our blue area the sky blue colors. Green and yellow should make blue. Yes, over here, and if we move it through, here we have our blue, the yellow area, our green area that was part of the yellow area, making blue. Okay, so let's just pick our new color. We press OK. Okay, and as you can see, our stroke has changed colors. We want to also now be able to fill it with color if we want to. So if we select the object again and fill it with color, all we need to do is go to the fill area of the options control panel for our color, double click this, and we can fill it with color as well. And what you'll see, because we were working with the color picker, you'll see our previous color. This is the sky blue. So if I want to change our new color, okay, I select something and I press OK. And now our color is filled. I click outside so I can see the shape without the bounding box. If I click the object, this is our bounding box. And this bounding box is going to allow us to manipulate this shape for us. So once again, if I want to change the color of my, oh, I'm sorry, before I do that, I wanted to show you the options control panel. If you notice, the options control panel does not show any color. That's because our direct select tool is selecting nothing. As soon as I click and select out my shape, the options control panel now shows me the color and shape dimensions of what I have created. Width and height over here in inches, as you can see, okay? And you can see now the colors that we have for our stroke and our fill, okay? If I want to get rid of the stroke, if I don't want a line outside and I just want a basic shape, once I select my, my color, I can now click this area, stroke, this drop-down menu, and you can see this hash, this red slash, the hash, which says none. If I click that, now there is no more stroke. As you can see, if I click outside of the shape, you can see the stroke is gone. Okay, if I click it again, okay, as you can see, it is letting me know in the options control panel and in the swatches and color area here in the tab and also in the toolbar that the stroke is missing. If I want the stroke back, once again, I can click here, pick a color, or double click the color area and select a new color. So if I select a new color, let's say I make it red, and I click OK, my stroke now has the red color picker, and I'm going to increase the size of my stroke so you can see it. If I go into the tab area, weight, I go up increments, and you'll see that my shape is now, my stroke is now visible. Once again, I click outside to get rid of it so I don't have to select it. I click it again, go back into the drop down menu and click none, no more stroke. But let's undo that. Let's Control Z. Control Z. What if I don't want any fill? The same thing. I go into the fill area in the options control panel and press none. And now, clicking this, I have no fill. Nothing is inside here. And as I click my cursor, as you can see, I can't select anything. I can't select the shape unless I click the stroke or, excuse me, or I create a highlight area, okay, and select the stroke, the shape, okay. Now that we have our object, I'm going to click it. I'm going to fill it. I'm sorry. We can also, before I move on, we can also create a shape without any fill or stroke. If you click none on both of them, and here is my shape, and it doesn't have a stroke or a fill. This will be necessary when we're coming into creating objects that we want to be able to create, place elements inside or around it without having to see the framework of it. And you'll see how this works later on. So once again, I'm going to fill this with color. I'm going to go into the color picker, select my color, fill it, and keep my bounding box on. I automatically will click out of it so I don't have to interfere with it or move it. I do that automatically, and I apologize if I do, if I go back and forth. It's just an automatic habit that I've developed so I don't interfere with the object that I've created. So to click the object again, we click it, and I want to be able to rotate my object. I want to be able to rotate my object. There's a couple of ways to do this. For any program that we work with, they are at least built in at least 3 different ways to do one task. So one easy way, or one way to do this, is to place our cursor, direct select tool, not direct, I'm sorry, our select tool, on the corner of our bounding box. Any corner will do. If I place my cursor on any corner, you will see a double arrow, okay? A double arrow. Now, I'm not clicking anything. I'm not clicking anything. I just placed it on there, so do not click. To get the cursor to rotate this, I'm going to just move the cursor diagonally in the area around, in the same direction that I had my double arrow, and you will see a curved arrow, a curved double arrow. This is the indication for rotating the object. So I'm going to click down to rotate, click, hold, and drag. Once I do that, you will see now you can rotate your object. And as you can see, you have the degrees showing you how many degrees, 360, within the same object. Now, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to Control Z to bring it back to its particular area. Once again, placing the cursor on the corners and just moving it in the same direction as the diagonal, you'll get the semicircle double arrow. And if I click and hold, but I'm not going to drag yet, I'm going to hold down Shift. If I hold down Shift at the same time I'm clicking to drag, to rotate this, you will see that when I rotate, my object now is not rotating freely. It's moving on its 360-degree axes. As you can see, 180, this is 135, this is 90, again 45, and back to back to its original position. If I do it again, as you can see, 45, 90, it's going to be rotating on its axis. That's if you hold down shift. Okay, without shift, once again, I place it on the corner, move it outside, click, hold, and drag, and I can freely eyeball this if I want a free rotation. Okay, I'm going to hit Control plus Z to bring it back to undo my last task. Okay, now let's say that we also want to rotate this, but this is a little difficult. In the options control panel, okay, right here in this center area, this icon, as you can see, we have rotating counterclockwise. Okay, we clicked it. What just happened here? Let me undo that, Control Z. Okay, it shouldn't do that. Hold on a second here. I should be able to just select this. Hold on. Oh boy. I'm sorry for a second there. It's shifting this object. Hold on a second here. Okay. Okay. It's shifting. It shouldn't shift it. I should have a circle that appears that allows me to rotate this. Just a second here. I'm so sorry about this. I need to figure out. Okay, before I go into, I'm not going to waste any time doing this. I'm going to come back and fill any questions in about this because I made a mistake here and I'm not sure why it's happening like this. I should get an icon similar to this around the object that I can now rotate the object in the same pattern that we did freely. So I'm going to find out afterwards. If there are any questions about this, I'm going to email, I should say, I'm going to type it into Tracy, I believe her name is Tracy, and I'll tell you the information about why that happened and how you can correct that and the proper way to rotate it with this tool. So I do apologize for that. But for now, let's just stick with this icon here. I should say this area on the corner. And when you see the semicircle, we can freely rotate. I'm going to Control Z. Now, if I want to increase the size of my object, the same area that you placed it on to rotate, any corner, place it on any corner, you'll see the double arrow. And you're going to hold down Shift. Once again, hold down Shift before you begin. Then you're going to click. Once I do that, now I'm able to increase the size of the object proportionately to what I just created. So if remember before when I created before, I let go of Shift. If I let go of Shift, this is what happens. I am creating an object that I can manipulate its size and width, but I don't want that. I want the same object but bigger. So to do that, you hold Shift, and you see when I hold down Shift and the left click button at the same time, I am able to increase proportionately the shape that I'm working with. Okay, so I can move the object in any place I want. Okay, we can do this also when we create another type of object. We're going to go back to the toolbar. We're going to click ellipse, click the ellipse tool. We're going to create a circle, and the same thing will happen. We're going to hold down Shift and click, hold, and drag. And as you can see, I'm creating a perfect circle. Okay. Once I create my perfect circle, I let go of Shift first. Okay. I'm sorry, I let go of the click button. I undid that. Let me undo that. Let me hold down Shift again, let go of the click button, and then let go of Shift. And as you can see, here is my perfect circle. I go back to the select tool, which is V. And as you can see, now I can move my object. I want to fill my object with color. We do the same thing. We can go into the toolbar, we can go into color, or we can go into the options control panel in the fill area. Double click and make sure the fill is on top. So if you're going to use the toolbar area, make sure that the fill is on top. If not, and I click, I will be clicking stroke. So if you're going to do it in the toolbar area, when you click it, the fill option is present, is on top. Unlike in the option control panel, I can go into either one and not have to worry which is on top, which is much more easier. So I double click and I can select my color and press OK, and my color is filled. I click outside of it, and as you can see, I have my color fill and options and my stroke. I want to get rid of the stroke. I click the drop down menu, click none, and now I have no stroke on my shape. Okay, we're going to use this to also to create frames for pictures and types of as for type as well, to manipulate shape in type. Okay, so we're going to select all of this, and delete. Okay, select all of it and delete. Now I want to be able to have more than one page if I want to, so we can go back. We're going to do this. We're going to do this in a little later. But we are here in our tab area. We have pages. Okay, we're working on one page. Our layers. We're going to be able to manipulate layers within this. So once again, let's create a shape. But we're going to use the Polygon tool. Now let's say this Polygon tool. We're going to hold down Shift. Hold down Shift as we click, hold, and drag, and as you can see, this polygon shape is being created. Okay, this is my Polygon tool. Okay, and this, of course, has 6 sides. But let's say we want something a little more basic, as a triangle. I'm going to delete this. Go to the Polygon tool, as we did, and we're going to click once. Whoops, hold on a second. Okay, sorry. Double click. Oh, it's double click. Oh, wow. They've changed the option. Okay, so we double click on the page. Once we double click on the page, as you can see, once we double click on the page, it brings up this dialog box. And let me do that again so I don't confuse anybody. I've selected the Polygon tool. I'm going to double click the page, our document. Double click. And it brings up this dialog box. This dialog box allows us to now manipulate what type of polygon that we want. Or as you can see, it has polygon settings. And it tells us the number of sides we have, 6. But like I said, what if we want a triangle? I don't want to have to create a triangle. I want a triangle already built in. I lower the number of sides that I want, 3, and I press OK. And now that I have my 3 sides, I press down Shift, click, hold, and drag, and now I have my triangle. Okay? So if I want to fill it with color, I go back up into my Direct Select tool because I don't want to click again and open up a dialog box, a dialog window, and double click. I can now fill it with color, and I have my stroke as well, as you can see. Okay? So I'm going to do this again. So like I said, what if I don't want a triangle? What if I want a shape with 5 sides? Go to the Polygon tool on the toolbar, double click, and of course we can change the number of sides. Okay, we can also give dimensions to it if we want to, but let's say we don't know how big we want it. We're just starting to create it. Okay, if you know your dimensions, you can type it in here. We can click OK. This is what I'm clicking, and already here is my polygon. Okay, this is my polygon. If I want to make this smaller, go back to your select tool, and like I said before, on the corner of your bounding box, as you can see, our bounding box is always going to be a square, no matter what shape you have in here. It's always going to be a square. Okay, this is able for us to control the rotation and the size of our object. Okay, so on the corner, any corner, you have the double arrow, hold down Shift, and then click and drag in or out or in. To reduce the size, you drag in, out, you drag to make it larger. Okay, and as I said, we can use a stroke if we want to, or use the fill. Double click, fill it with color, and this is our object. Now, let's say that we want to continue to work on this page, but we want to have this object on here. This is where layers comes into play. Okay, I want you to consider layers like your table. Okay, I want you to think of layers as a table, as stacking items on a table. This document, the document that you're seeing, you're looking above your table. You're looking directly above on your table, okay? So the layers is the table that we can stack items, and we're looking above it on our document. Now, like with anything else, we're going to create another layer. To create another layer, I'm going to go down here into the bottom of our layer tab, and this dog-eared page, this little dog-eared page, as you can see, right? It has a little folded corner like a dog ear. This, as you can see, when we put our cursor above it, it says create new layer. We're going to click that. This now creates a new layer, and as you can see, our layers are color-coded, okay? Our layers are color-coded. On this layer is called layer 1, okay? And next to the layer is our color code, which is blue. Now, to access the layer to work on, or to let you know which layer you're working on, the layer will be highlighted in blue. Right now, I'm working on layer 2, and it's highlighted in blue. If I want to work on layer 1, I click 1, and as you can see, now this layer, which this object is on layer 1. I'm going to let you know how we know that this layer is filled with an object. You see the triangle, or I should say this bracket that's located next to the word layer? Click that. If I click that, it opens up what's on our layer. And as you can see, it says Polygon, which is this shape on our document. Polygon is on layer 1. So to close it, the bracket, must be pointing right. To open it, the bracket, again, I had a little hiccup, sorry, will be pointing down. So down is open, to the right is closed. Down is open, to the right is closed. So layer 1 is open, is closed. Right is now open. Okay, down is open, down is open, right is now closed. Excuse me. So as you can see, each one is going to be, they have a default title for each one. Layer 1, layer 2, if I create another layer, it'll be layer 3. But we don't want to have to guess what's on that layer. We want to actually name it. To name the layer, to rewrite and actually rename this layer, we double click the word in the layer area, double click. Once you do that, as you can see, I can change the name. And so I can now type in Polygon. Polygon.
Hey, Dennis,
shape.
you got about a minute left. We have to wrap up and end by 2.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know I was moving that slow. I apologize. Let me try to speed this up. Okay, thank you, Tracy. Okay, so this is a Polygon tool. And what we're going to do here is we can also double click. We change the layer. And we can also change the color of the area that we're working on. So if I click this and I want this color area to read green or cyan or gold, you can change the color, press OK, and you can change the color. Okay, I'm going to delete this polygon, and I'm going to create another shape. The square. Click, hold, and drag, and the square. Here we go. Square tool. Click, hold, and drag, and this is our shape tool. We're going to fill it with text. To fill this with text, click. We can click the text tool, double click inside of it, as you can see, and you can see we can fill this shape with text. Go into the type tool, fill with placeholder text in the menu bar, type tool, and we can fill it with text. Let's go back to our select tool, create a circle from our shape tool, and create a perfect circle, and we can do the same thing. Go to the T tool with type, double click inside of it, and do the same thing. Type, fill with placeholder text, and we have filled the shape with text. If we want to get rid of this stroke outside of it, as you can see, if I click this, we go into the options control panel and click none. This way we can get rid of the stroke outside of it. This will have no stroke. To view this as a printable document, we go into Window. We go into View, and we want to see overprint view, or we can go to screen mode and we can go to preview. Okay, and if I click, as you can see, now my object is, this is the preview of a printable object. Go back into a screen mode. We can go to bleed if we're having bleed, if we're having objects bleed. Normal is back with the grid, the guides. If I don't want to see my guides, you're going to press Control colon. If I press Control colon, I no longer see the safe zone. Okay, no longer will I see the safe zone. This is my guides. If I want to create guides.
Okay, Dennis, sorry, it's 2 o'clock and we have some promotional things we have to discuss, so you do have to wrap up. I'm going to take this.
Okay, I thank, no problem. I thank everybody for being with us today. And Tracy, thank you again. And I hope everybody got a little brief exercise for basics and you do enjoy yourself today. And be safe.
That was fabulous and very informative. We should have this part 2 of this webinar. There's so much information. So thank you, Dennis.
Yes.
And as we celebrate our 20th anniversary to serve you with the best in class IT and business certification training, we bring you an unbeatable 20th year celebration offer this month to make your learning even more fantastic. We are actually offering up to 50% off on some of our popular courses. And Netcom Learning does offer a comprehensive portfolio for design and multimedia courses, which you can see up there on your screen. In addition, team training can be customized and accelerated to meet your organization's specific needs. You can contact us today to be connected to one of our learning consultants to help advise you on your specific needs, whether you want to email us or simply search our catalog at netcomlearning.com. And we all know that technical skills are necessary to empower our careers, but you need to improve or upgrade your leadership skills as well in order to accelerate your career. Along with your technical abilities, you can develop the skills you need to manage yourself, others, and business better. Welcome to Starter Learning, a collaborative knowledge platform bringing the world's best business and leadership insights from Fortune 1000 leaders, best-selling authors, and Ivy League professors. Further, if you are interested in learning from the top American leaders, you can log on to the e-learning platform at starterlearning.com and avail the special promotion meant for first-time users. Simply use coupon code SARTER10 and begin your leadership journey now. And right now we are going to launch a quick poll to find out how many people might be interested in taking some additional training. So please fill that out before you log off. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, and you can go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register. And also like and follow our social media pages to get the latest technology updates. You can refer to our GoToWebinar chat window for all of our links. We want to thank you all for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone. Come on. Where is my...